guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Woohoo! It is Tuesday, August 17th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. All right, I checked my pulse. I'm live. Alive. Good to see everybody. Come on in. Welcome to my Facebook peeps that come in and chat. We always have a good time. We really do. And welcome to my Facebook lurkers who come in and lurk and watch. And as long as you're learning, that's cool too. Good to see everybody. I'm looking forward to tonight, as I always do. And I would also be amiss, hello Rhonda. I would also be amiss if I didn't say hello to my YouTube peeps. So I'm just waiting for somebody to say something. I have a feeling I'm not going to see comments. Oh, there we go. Good evening. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, Rhonda. That's for you. This wave is for you. Pearly. Yeah, Rhonda's now saying something. You guys are funny. Funny bunnies. You know, I lost my tape dispenser and I don't know where it went. I hate that. I keep it in one spot and obviously I didn't. Pearly, Pearly, Pearly. Good to see ya. So while people are falling in the door, I'll just show you this real quick. This is the piece I was showing you guys last night. So much fun, Dorothy. Hi, Dorothy. Dorothy, I know you don't chat a lot, but tell me how you're feeling. You can just click an up arrow so you don't have to chat a lot. Mary, Mary, not contrary. How does your garden grow? Oh, let me get this fixed. Hold on. My cord keeps drooping. Zoom in. Zoom out. Zoom out. Mary says, oh, I love it. Mary says, weedy. Good one, Mary. Good one. I like it. Okie dokie smoky. So Dorothy says, hi ILene, I'm feeling better, but walk as little as possible. Okay. Dorothy, don't they want you walking though? A little bit? I would think that they want to make sure that you'll be getting exercise. I'm in such a good mood tonight. Yes, and I do, but it's very painful. Of course it's painful, yeah. Well, Dorothy, maybe you can pick a little route in your home and walk that route each day just so that you're consistent. And then that way it'll keep you walking and give you something to look forward to. Rhonda says, I'm glad, love your off-key singing. Oh. Hey, why not, you know? You can either be neutral, be happy, or be sad. I try to choose be happy. Just as long as you guys can hear the music in the background so you don't wonder what the heck I'm doing. Okay. So Dorothy says she went from a walker to a cane and now on her own. Oh, Dorothy, wonderful. So glad to hear that. Da-da-dum. Okay. I gotta look for something real quick. Well, Miss Dorothy, I pray for you that you have over-the-top success in getting healed. I need to have somebody to talk to when we come on live. And you're one of my buds. Hold on, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for love in all the wrong places. Okay. Don't you hate that when you know you have something? But the good news is if I'm looking for this stuff, I may find my tape. So give me a second here. Oh well. I'll tell you what I was thinking about doing if I can find it eventually. Is, you know these little bells? I got to looking at them and I thought, you know those little teeny tiny ribbons that I have? Excuse me, bows. But that might be overkill. So I was going to get one out and take a look and see. Hello, Stephanie. I love how you're coming in every night now. You remember that bow that I put on the little baby dragon? But you know, what do I always tell you? Don't get stupid with your add-ons. So, if I find them, I may hold it up and see. And I'll let you know. Okay. I got Happy Mail today. Hello, Jean. Jean Waring. La-da-dum. So Dorothy says, I have done both of the new pictures you are showing, but I have learned some new tips since watching you. Thank you. My pleasure, Dorothy. That's why, yeah, I love it. We just need to get you to be not quite so shy about maybe talking. But that's okay too, either way. Okay. I got Happy Mail. I got Happy Mail. I'm so excited about this book. Get the glare off of it. So this Fantasy Nouveau coloring book was on my wish list. And darned if by total surprise it shows up in my mailbox today. And this is from Jean Waring. So 8/17/21. Zoom in. Zoom in. This is so cute. Zoom out. Zoom out. Dorothy, excellent. She says she copies all her pictures on cardstock before coloring. That's the thing to do. If you can, if you have a printer. Are you able to spray them with Krylon? Fixtiff. So I want to do a flip through. Jean, thank you so much. This was a totally out of the blue surprise. I love this. Look how this dragon is taking a peek here. So let me do a quick page through here. And one of the things that I love about this book is, you know how I've told you I like books, I like pages that tell a story. No pun intended. So this book, unfortunately it's back to back, but if you copy it and put it on cardstock, no problems. So these are telling the cute little stories. Remember the dragons from Pennington. I can't think of his last name. Ken? I think it's Ken Pennington. So see, everything tells a story. Now this one I consider to be static because it's posed, you know, it's just there. But this one here, this tells a story. Oh, I love that guitar. Now I want you guys to take a little look at this one. This is hysterical. Look at the details on here. Brian Kessinger. Thank you, Jean. Thank you. I love you guys when you help me. Where did I get Pennington? I know that's another author. So look at this a minute. It took me a second to kind of figure out, well, to figure out what was going on. Not figure out, but realize. So these two are playing chess, right? And all these little people are running around on what's the chessboard. And then, you know, here's the rook, which I think is really funny how he made it look that way. And the two of them are just playing. I love this. Angela, hi. Hey, Angela, I think you contacted the wrong Mark Vick because I talked to him today and he said he hadn't heard from you. So I will get you in touch with him. So he said he'd love to talk to you about the billing and coding stuff. We'll get you straightened around. So this one is kind of a posing picture here. Oh, Angela, my pleasure. Listen to me, Angela. Pick his brain. Just don't talk to him one time. He's very smart and he will help you. Okay, now look, this one tells a story. So we've got a sleeping dragon around a castle. So Jean Waring, do you see why I love this book? This tells a story. And they're funny, you know, the dragon going to a dentist. So, just neat stuff. This one's a good one. I mean, who has tea with a dragon? And I love the little, you know, the hands holding the little tiny teacup with the finger out. There's some good, the author, and see, things pop up. We got a little frog here with some tea. Oh, here's a bunny. And in the corner here, there's a little hat, and it says, in this style, something. So there's just little, oh, and there's a Cheshire cat. I love how these little things pop up. So we got to see what else we have. I think that's it for now. And this is why I love my coloring books. I love them for the art. And again, Art Nouveau, guys. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but it's fun. And look how the horse is charging through. See, the round part of this is through here, and the horse is coming through it. I love dimensional stuff like that. Look at this, a little fairy talking to the unicorn. So good stuff. I love books that make us laugh, you know, and just good stuff. Sometimes we cringe a little bit, but that's okay. Pretty. Love the close-up of this horse. That'll be beautiful. We can do lots of neat stuff with that. Got some fairies on there. And these little stars. Look at, you see these stars? Those would look great with my, excuse me, with my liquid pearls. Oh yeah. Cuties all the way, guys. This one's cool with the dragon upsetting the boat. Do you guys like this? And then here's a contemplative picture. No test pages, but that's okay. No biggie. All right, for those of you that came in a little late, this is Fantasy Nouveau. It's by Herb Leonard, and I assume he has other stuff too. So you can go to www.herbleonard.com. HERBLEONARD. So Jean, I can't thank you so much. So Angela says, yes, I actually like that. Normally not into fantasy. Yeah, I'm not a huge fantasy person, but I like the cute stuff. So yeah, this is a good one, Angela. Angela, can you stay with us tonight? I know you're studying. Okay, so we now have that in our library. I am so happy. Thank you, thank you. How I love walking out to my mailbox and seeing stuff like that. Okay. So last night I was showing you how to add these backgrounds now to coloring. This one is Hello Autumn, and I'm pretty sure this one is too. Oh, I am such a dork sometimes. Yes, okay, good. I'm glad you can, Angela. Oops, Herb. Didn't mean to write that. Hello, Autumn. Damita Victoria. Damita, D-A-M-I-T-A, no R. Victoria. All right, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into here. So last night I was talking about how to add these beautiful color backgrounds to your pieces. Now wait until you see this colored in, guys. You're really going to be able to appreciate what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a background. Now, see, this is my work surface. And what I did is I went ahead and cut out last night all these floor pieces because I'm sure you didn't want to sit there watching me do that. And I actually posted the picture with that floor background, so that's not really the one I'm using at the moment. But look how cool that looks. Carolyn, hello. Oh my gosh, how have you been? Doggone it, quit disappearing on us. So, lots of fun with this using the papers. Let me grab some paper, hold on. All right, so this happens to be Carolyn. Did you get the results of your testing from your fall? So I'm kind of thinking maybe of going with this brick. Zoom in. I thought that brick looks pretty cool. Now you want to be careful when you go ahead and pick your pieces here. Everything's compatible and it's going to work. Don't get stupid with it, right? Oh, that even looks better. That brick is pretty busy. And I suppose it would help if I'm on camera so you can see it. Oh my, I have my moments. I really do. Oh, you better believe it, Dawn. Okay, I think that that floor looks the best. So zoom out. Zoom out. I'm going to go with that because we don't want to have too many patterns, right? I love that brick pattern I showed you before, but I think that this is going to be better. And I'll tell you what, if you want to drive yourself crazy, sit down with a knife and cut out these little lines. So do you guys agree that this looks better than the brick? I mean, the brick looks great, right? But boy, that's busy. So let's go ahead and get something a little quieter. Dawn? So make sure any of the darker pieces of the background are in the far away under the pumpkins. Versus up front. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out this piece. And actually, it'll take me about 2 seconds to put this in here. Now, remember what I told you last night is you can use wrapping paper. It doesn't have to be this scrapbook paper that I bought. Either way, go to the dollar store, get some wrapping paper. And Dawn is exactly correct. The lighter further down, darker higher up suggests perspective and shading. turn the paper upside down. Why? Oh, the darker. Okay, I got you. I got you. Yep, 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 yep. Or flip the paper clockwise twice. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to bump that. Okay, now, the thing is, I have to shift down a little bit because I just cut this piece to fit the, picture. So let me shift that up just a little bit. And everybody see now how that darker is in the background. Isn't that cool? Now, this is not a big hassle to do. It's fun, actually. But if you're dealing with things, you know, if you got Parkinson's issues going on, I know some of you do. I know some of you have arthritis. So you'll have to decide what's going to work for you. How cool does that look? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so Dawn, did you see any of my earlier broadcasts talking about this? Oh, not today, just popped in. Okay. No, but I mean, you saw the other day, part of it, the whole concept of putting the paper behind the page after you cut out the areas that you want to show up. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of glue and rub that on the back here so I can just start to tack this down. Oh, you missed everything. So this is a brand new concept to you. Okay. So I've been whetting everybody's appetite with this. So you didn't see my other piece that I did. Zoom out. Zoom out. Right, you just haven't seen me do it. Right, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm not the first person on earth to do this, of course. But see, I did this with this marble paper. And this is neat because it had that waterfall, which actually put me in mind of a piece that Dawn did. And she's got a piece that has the waterfall in it. And I used, on the back, I used simple paper that I had to print out on, my coloring pages, and then coloring on it. So you can use all sorts of paper, guys. And it was so funny because when I cut this out, this duck was loose. Because, of course, it was swimming around in the paper that was here. And if you don't think that this... Yeah, it looks like that's it, your mill illustration. Exactly. The watermill. So Dawn has a watermill, and I think that this would lend itself beautifully to it. I'll have to pull that up and find it, and we'll do it. We'll see if I can work that in. Yep. You don't need to be seeing my shirt. So I use simple pink cloud paper that I got off of Amazon. I've printed on this type of paper before, images and colored on it. All right. And then I started to color it so you could see. So let's get back to this. Yeah, I'm already there ahead of you about that mill illustration. I was thinking about it. Now, what works for me in cutting out detail is I plop myself down in front of a TV set and I cut away. And what I did is I cut some of the lines on here, zoom in, zoom in. Mary says Ollie's has books of collage and origami paper for $1.99. I bought 6 different books. Yeah, now, some of the sizes of paper, oops, all you have to do is buy 8.5 by 11. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Give me a minute. Get down there. Hello, Helen. Now, it's a little tricky with all these thin lines on this particular piece, but you know what? If you rip them by mistake, don't worry about it. You can just always add it back in. So I don't want you to have a conniption fit about it. There are lots of beautiful papers out there. So what I'm doing is I'm just lifting this up because I'm gluing this from the bottom up. Now, if you can help it, try not to get your glue on your 50 to 200 pages each. Excellent. Mary, do me a favor and post that in the group and just reference. Now, see this little piece right here that's sticking up? I'm just going to cut that with my scissors. Bye, Dawn. And I'm just going to lift that up, and then I'm going to glue that right back down. and you'll never know that that gap was there. Now, my biggest piece of advice when you do this, do not do it when you're tired. It'll frustrate you no end. But when you're awake, it's no big deal. Love that idea, Mary. So Mary, if you would do me a favor and just reference it when post it in our group, and just say as shown in Teaching Live Coloring with ILene Vick. Here are some sources for paper. Okay, now the reason that I'm working from the bottom up like this, zoom out, is now I can go ahead and back up my paper and put my glue on it. I had to get those silly little individual pieces here on the back, but now I'm to the larger parts. Guys, just glue it any way you can. And get to your edges as much as you can. Would spray adhesive work? I'm sure it would. That's another option. As long as you can control where your spray goes, yeah. If you don't have these little fine lines to do, I take that back. Yeah. Hold on, give me a second here. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, my can of spray adhesive is not on my shelf. So yeah, what you could do is just take the back of your coloring page, spray it with your spray adhesive in the area that you're putting your paper, and then lay down your page. The only reason I didn't bring it up in this, right. Spray the back of the image and then apply the background, exactly. The only reason I didn't mention it in this piece is because I've got these teeny tiny lines. But if you feel coordinated with it, excellent idea. All right. So on this page, now you're going to get a little crinkly, doesn't matter, because you can always flatten it out. Is everybody clear on what Helen is talking about the spray adhesive? It's a can of spray that's an adhesive. I have repositionable adhesive that I use for my stencils, and I just spritz a little bit on there, and then it keeps them stuck where I need them. But what Helen is talking about, the spray adhesive, is spray adhesive. Okay. Look at that. What do you guys think? So we've got a nice background for the floor. We've got a nice background for the table. And again, this is just wrapping paper right here. Origami paper works that Mary suggested. So yeah, Mary, I'm not sure if I completed the thought, but if you would talk about what I'm showing in live in the group and post the idea for the paper, that would be wonderful. Just reference the video, please. Okay, I need to move something. Give me a moment. Anybody have any questions or comments? Fun. Whoop. There we go. So I've done this before, I just haven't shown you guys. I just want to open up your ideas here. And then what you can do, I would normally use my little, I have a paper cutter, got it at a garage sale for 10 bucks years ago. Save your scraps. Look how cool that looks. And then of course I'll trim off the rest of it. Well, I'll do it now. I want you to see how it's going to look. Now, I'll trim this down later because it's wider here and wider on the side. Okay, there we go. Let's color this up. Now, I know that it looks a little funny that we've got these 3 different backgrounds. And it may not look like it's going to fit, but it will. Anybody have any questions or comments? Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you it this way. This is what I mean. Would you try this method? Mary obviously is already interested because she got the origami paper. Oh, which reminds me. Zoom out. Windows or blinds? You mean as far as adding something to it? I'll probably sit tight because I don't want to get overloaded with paper. You remember when I did this? This is a grayscale coloring that I did. I cut that out and I glued it onto my full sheet. Of my scrapbook paper, the design. Again, Rhonda's got this design as well. Now, and I'll talk more about this at a later date. The critical thing is to do this. See, I've got these little gems. I mentioned this before. I've got the gems all over, so I did the full coloring, colored it out with my little rotating cutter. And then when I placed it on here, when I did the gems on her, I did the gems on the outside. So this looks like it's an integral piece. So the key to doing something like this is you've got to make it work together. Oh, what you meant was, do you think they're windows or blinds? I'm not sure yet. Gosh, windows, I think. I hate that when an artist doesn't define it. So does everybody see the concept here? You've got to make sure that your piece that you're putting on works with your background. Otherwise, you know, don't just slap something on there. Otherwise, it's going to look like you just slapped something on there. And actually, and I may yet do this, I could have put like a little heart tattoo. I'm going to do that. I'll do that. I'm going to put a heart tattoo on her skin. And that way that's going to tie in everything that we're doing. And boy, did I use a lot of my teeny tiny rhinestones, but it was fun. So I used them over here to light this up. And then of course, wherever you can see the pink and the green. So there's another idea for you. Okay. Zoom in. Oh, great, Mary. And of course, you mentioned author and, you know, all that kind of stuff so people know where they can get it. Thank you, Mary. Remember, Mary, that people may not necessarily know what we're talking about, so that's why we've got to be clear. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. All right. ILene, quit yakking. Let's color a pumpkin. So I'm using my Brett Funner Maze, M-A-I-Z-E. Now I'm going a little bit darker yellow at the top, and then I'm going to go a lighter color as I come down. And you'll see why in a moment. Remember, when something gathers together like this pumpkin top, your colors intensify. Now, you don't have to, I referred to this video and mentioned where the paper was bought. Oh, Mary, thank you. Now, you don't have to put your yellow all over the place. Remember I told you that you can leave your sections, some sections open. And then as we add our pumpkin colors, the top color will react with the bottom color in the spots that you put the base color. So I've got a Fila 036 color. And Helen's got a pumpkin that she did in her book. Which book, Helen? Da, 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 da. So I've got a yellow as a base, and now I'm using this orange yellow on top of it. In this particular example, you could have just started out with the orange if you want. Everybody see how we're starting to get the shading on this? Now remember, we work in groups of 3s, right? So I've got a yellow, I have a gold, and now I'm going to start in with my orange, which is a Fila called, here we go about food, orange popsicle. Oh, I love orange. And what I want you to notice is as I'm working the darker colors, I'm getting into the areas where the divots of the pumpkin are, right? Now, I'm also coming back to, okay, so Helen says that she's also got suggestions on how to color a pumpkin. Color Special Effects Book 2, the Tasty Treats section. So there's another alternative for you. Now I'm taking this orange and I'm just going to go ahead and do an overall color because I want my overall pumpkin to be this darker orange. Now, one thing you're going to notice when you're coloring in a book that you've put your paper in, it's going to give you a different feel on the page that you're coloring. So I can feel, what's a good word, the sponginess, for lack of a better word, of the paper. I can feel like there's something under there. So just be aware of that. Zoom out. Everybody see how I've got that nice little streak effect right here? Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. And this is where I want you guys to develop your coloring skills, where you'll add a little extra swoosh of color like this. So not only did I shade the lines, which is fine, but I'm also adding a little swoosh of color. And now what I'm doing is I'm just playing with this and adding my darker areas where I want them. Now, the neat thing about Helen's books is she gives you a step-by-step on how to color things like this. And what that will do is that will help you create the look that you want. And then as you go along and you're coloring and you know what you're looking for and you know how to produce it, you'll be able to produce it yourself. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of brown. Where I have my divots. And what you're going to start to see is your depth and dimension. And I'm going to go ahead and concentrate my brown at the top. And you guys know that I always encourage you to develop your own style, right? You can lockstep with me if you want. You can lockstep with Helen if you want, because that'll help you learn. And then at that point, you'll start getting your own style. So now I'm playing with my darker brown. I've got it in my divots. And I'm bringing it out a little bit. Why? Because we don't want this to have, what? Lines. Okay, and we don't want to get too much brown in there. So let me brush that. So Angela says, let me zoom out. So Angela says, my home help was here this morning, emptied and sorted a bottom corner cupboard. Huge help, found things I didn't know I had and some I had lost because she could no longer get down to it. Well, that's cool. Sorry for the camera movement, guys. Now, where Helen's books will really help you is she shows you where the shading goes and what goes where and why. And then from there you can create your own look. So she shows you the mechanics of it. It's like learning how to drive a car. You learn how to drive that car, and then from that point on, you drive it to your style. That's good, Angela. Okay, and now we have one or two choices. We can come in with a light, with a white pencil, and we can go ahead and highlight our lighter areas. And what Helen was talking about with that bulbous look is in between our little dents, right? We've got this part here that comes forward. So things that are forward are what? Lighter. Things that are darker are in the back. And that's why you'll start to notice the depth and dimension on this pumpkin. Questions? Oh, how pretty. And see, you can take your white pencil and do an overall coloring of it here, and that's softening up my darker colors. And what I also want you to do is I want you, the next time you're in the store, is to look at your pumpkins and check out its different shades. Okay, so I'm going to put a little gold in the bottom here. And guys, this is not complex at all. I just want you to think about it. La, da, 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 da. Ooh, that was out of key. No. La, da, da, da. All right. So now I'm going to take a little bit of brown. There we go. A little dabble, do ya? And I'm using a slightly different brown from my pumpkin because I don't want this thing to look repetitive and get merged, merged too much. So I'm going to put a little bit of brown on the stem. Think about a pumpkin stem, guys. What do you see? You see that brown because it's dried up and withered? I'm going to put a little light green in there. We've seen green, right? And zoom in. Zoom in. And then I'm going to put a little bit of dark green here. And I'm going over the entire thing a couple of swipes, and that's merging our colors. Everybody see how that's looking now? Let me tidy up. Keep your pieces clean, guys. There we go. Zoom out. Zoom out. Questions about how to do this? And if you need to adjust it a little bit, that's fine. There you go. Okay. Now, we got to think about our colors now that we are predefined for us, because we've got our floor, we have our table. I did not do the tabletop in this stuff, and we've got our vase. So some of the things now that we need to start to think about when you're coloring something like this: do we want soft colors, or do we want bold, medium colors, or do we want bold colors? So right now I'm thinking that this would look really cool with some, let's see here, using some healthy blues. Oh yeah, let me move my camera. Anybody have any questions so far? Do you like what I'm doing? Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead and get some really healthy blues in here, and by that I mean healthy. The term healthy is below vibrant. Oh. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start shadowing in on my flowers. And I'm using pencil now on this piece. And I'm using a Shuttle Art Blue 088. It's called Cyan Blue. Actually, I want to wait on doing that one little segment. Hold on. So what I've done is I've created a darker blue base. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the tips of the flowers. You've seen me do this method before with these. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and I will carry that blue out all the way. I was debating whether to make that a slightly different color. Now, see this little area here? I'm leaving that at the moment because it's folded over on itself. Oh, isn't that pretty? Now, we have several choices here. We can go ahead and put another color in between there, or we can go ahead and blend with a blender pencil. I'm going to go ahead and just put a lighter color in there, gently. And I'm rubbing with my pencil just enough to blur the edges. Zoom in. And this is a, oops, Fila 051 blue. And guys, do me a favor, you've overwhelmingly told me that you want me to call out the pencils that I use. If I forget to do that, just tell me. Oh, how pretty is that? Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Everybody see how we've got a really nice rounded look on that? And blended and light look. Okay. Zoom in. Now on that little outer leaf petal, I do that, I'll call them leaves. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a little darker blue. It's close. And you might say, well, why bother with the third color? Nobody will notice. Well, this is one of those things your brain sees it. Everybody like how I've got that flower? And do you see how I did it? Yeah, never mind about the like. I want to know if you see how I did this. Okay. Okie dokie. Zoom in. Zoom in. Now, the center of this is the same flower. But if you want to, you know, we walk that line between how do I want to state this? Not exactly realistic, but realistic enough that it makes a pretty piece. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Zoom in. So I'm going to use a master color, 5425, which is a bluish gray. And I'm going to go ahead and tint that with the gray. Now, the reason that I'm not going with the darker blue is we've got such a teeny tiny cluster here. I don't want it to get super dark. And then I'm going to come in with a premium turquoise blue C037. Now again, don't get intimidated by these colors that I'm using. Basically, I'm using a blue and a gray. That's the simple explanation. And I'm coloring next to where there would be shading. Remember our gate that I added those concrete blocks and I went in with the black afterwards? And I shaded in between them. So my gray is showing through, my blue is highlighting. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. So there's my overall look. All right. Let me grab a little bit of water here. Now I'm going to use a little bit different set of blues on my next flower here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want them to necessarily be identical. I want them slightly different, but still in the blue category. So I'll get myself a light blue and a dark blue. And they're going to look similar, but by virtue of the fact that they're different pencils, that's where we get our different color. So it's one of those like little mind games things. Zoom in. Zoom in. Any questions about that? Now, one of the things that we need to be relatively careful of is we've got a lot of these flowers that are right together. So you want to be careful. Of your color combinations. I was thinking about maybe putting a purple in here. But I'm going to hold off on these flowers because I want them to be similar. So this is a Cool Bank 014. And I'm going ahead around my bottoms. It's a lighter blue. But it'll be the darker blue of the two that I'm using. Now we've got teeny tiny spaces to work in. So you just need just little pencil wiggles here. Boy, that's pretty. And now I'm going to pull a lighter blue here. This is a Castle Art Soft Touch, color 094. It's called Cobalt Blue. Oops, I missed one. And don't forget, with my pencil, I'm letting my pencil run over my lines, the artist lines, because we don't see flowers with black lines around them, right? So I'm very, very lightly coloring with my cobalt blue. Now, listen to me, guys. You've got to adjust to whatever you're coloring at the time. So, oh, missed another one. So when you're following a methodology, make sure that it fits to what you're doing. Don't just blindly use that method if it doesn't work. Okay, let me tidy up a little bit. Now my pencils here are coming in a little rough. So I'm going to do just a little bit of blending with my white pencil, not much, hardly touching. We've got light blues that are very close to each other. We don't want to lose that center, okay? And now I'm actually going to go in, well, let me use my gray again, my light gray, Master 5425. Now, I like how this gray looks here without adding anything else to it, because I'm using lighter blue, so this is going to work. So I'm going to darken it and shade a little bit. And the reason that I'm doing that is that we are in a teeny tiny space. And there are just some times where adding a second color in your color scheme is going to muddy it up. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. How does that look? Okay, leaves. My blues are exploding. Now, for some reason, and I just do this, I like my spiky plants to be the lighter green. I'm using a Prismacolor Spring Green PC913. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. There we go. Annie gets a little confused every once in a while. So I'll bring in my light green. We'll go over the lines because I want to muddy that black on purpose. Now, I've talked about this a lot, guys. You've got to slow down when you're coloring. And I can see from some of your pieces that you're posting that you may be coloring a little faster than you should. And what happens is when you color fast in something, you don't tend to play with the blending and your color mixes. So I want you to slow down and think about what you're doing. You know, right now my 100% focus are on these spiky plants. It's almost like giving somebody a back rub. You know, you want to do it nice and slow, carefully hit all the spots. And I think what's happening on some of your pieces is that you are thinking about the overall piece and not necessarily the part that you're working on. Oops. Take your time, guys. Good night, Angela. I'll get you Mark's contact information. Angela, how are you feeling, by the way? And before you go, what's the status on your surgery? Can you spare a minute and tell us? Hello, Wanda. And what I want you to think about while you're coloring, I almost hate to say this, become one with the pencil. Just feel the pencil underneath your hand. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, Angela says not having surgery anytime soon because of the blood platelet issue. Doctors are going to reevaluate you in December. Okay. And meanwhile, you're working on your health to get you to that point, right? And right now you're concentrating on your classes? Good. Okay, so if doctors feel you can handle the surgery, they will do the sleeve in January or after. Thank you for the update. You've lost 13 pounds so far. Got an A in your last class. Oh my gosh, Angela, congratulations. So Angela, if you want to give yourself some perspective on that, pick up a 10-pound bag of sugar or whatever you have, salt, doesn't matter, whatever you have, and look at it and congratulate yourself, because that's the garbage that's not in your body anymore, weight-wise. Zoom in. It's eye-opening when you do something like that. When I was doing my weight loss seminars, that's what I had people do. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I want you to walk into the kitchen and pick up 10 pounds of something. I don't care what it is. Sugar, salt, flour, whatever. If you don't have 10 pounds, then pick up 2 things that equal 10 pounds. That's how much garbage that's off you now. Zoom in. Shuttle Art Color 064 Aquamarine. I'm telling you, it'll, you know, people can talk to you until you're blue in the face, but until you physically see it. So promise me you'll do that. Pick up 10 pounds of something. And that's what's no longer working on you. All right, sweetie, you have a great rest of the evening. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding my extra shade here to my spiky plants. Isn't that pretty? Ah! Now I have a green dot. See, I put that as a bug. Oh, yeah. My story, I'm sticking to it. See, that's how you add a bug. Angela, I'm so glad you were here tonight. Okay. Hey, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. It's a bug. It's how you put a bug on a wall. Hi, Wanda. So I'm choosing just to shade the one side of the plant, which gives it an interesting look as well. Oop, that's a little bit too stiff here. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Wanda, look what we got. Fantasy Nova. Nouveau. And this is from Jean Waring. Really cool book. I did a really fast flip through in the beginning. Cute little book. So you'll want to catch that. Everybody see how these multitude shades of green are making these spiky plants look really cool? Hello, Sandy. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So see, I'm just adding a green tint, a darker green tint to my page, to my plants, to my spikies. Oh, I'm just delighted that Jean sent that book. So Wanda, if you care to share, can you update us on your living situation? Oh, how pretty is that? Zoom out. How does my sound tonight, guys? Nice and clear? Okay. Six and clear. Thank you, Rhonda. I'm sure you guys would have told me by now if there were any problem, but I like to know. So Wanda says, I'm going to try and stay here and pay half the house note plus utilities. Okay. And that's agreeable with your friend, obviously. Everybody see how this green now has just multiple shades on it? Pretty. Well, Wanda, we're all pulling for you. You know that, right? Okay, I'm going to use a Brett Funner color called Falcon. YK63 is the number. Zoom in. Well, you're welcome, Wanda. That's what you got to put up with, being part of this group that we care about you. Okay, a little bit of gray. Not much on the spine of the plant. Oops. Stay within your line. Hi, Kizzy. I'll pet you. So I'm just taking this darker gray, and along the back part where I put the dark green, I'm literally just putting one or two passes of the gray. Now, if you find yourself in the position of coloring something like this, I don't want you to blindly do it. I want you to do it if you feel it'll enhance your piece. What is my opinion on castle arts? They're fine. I like them. Hi, sweetie. What you doing? I really like the Brett Funners. Okay, everybody see that little shade of gray? Sandy, what brands do you have now? Oh, crumble. That was a crumble, it wasn't a break. There we go. Zoom out. Oh, how pretty. Everybody's seen how this is starting to take shape and come out beautifully. You have Prisma, excellent. Brett Funner, excellent. Arteza, excellent. Good. You like all three of them. If I had a choice, I would, yeah, Prisma, Brett Funner, Arteza over the Castle Arts, but I like Castle Arts. Wanda, do you have any opinion? Anybody else have opinions about their Castle Arts? You don't have them, okay. So I have a red Prismacolor Crimson Red PC 924. I have a Brett Funner, if I can read the number Y10 Autumn Glory. Zoom in. Zoom in. Wanda, refresh my memory. What color, what brands do you have? Brett Funner. I know you've told us before, but I have forgotten. You've got Prisma, I think, Brett Funner. A boatload of Brett Funner now. Zoom in. Now remember, we are working with fall colors here, but we still have colorful flowers. Sandy says I need to sort my pencils by colors so they're not scattered everywhere. Exactly. Okay, so I want to see how these are going to look with each other. So I'm going ahead and putting my base red around here, and then I'm going to come back. You're tired of hunting. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and color over my red with my orange. Now, Brett Funners are soft. Prismacolors are soft. So they blend well. Am I close enough for you guys to see this? And if your red is being a little problematic and you need to go back, just blend it out a little bit. Blending out means what? You get lighter and lighter as you go out. And you'll see the effect that this is going to have in a second. Which is pretty cool. I like it. So what are you guys working on tonight while you're watching me? And let me catch a little bit of red right there. Rhonda says same as you, but pencils only. Okay. Fine, I'll stick with pencils. So are you going to cut out the sections, Rhonda? Like I showed you guys? Now, you notice on this particular flower that I'm doing some heavy blending of the orange over the red, and that's causing that red to come out and tint the orange. That's deliberate. So if you want to do that with a flower, you can. Sandy says, would love to get Faber-Castell Polychroma, but expensive. Okay, Sandy, before you do that, work on your coloring skills. You'll get there. Faber-Castells are great. I just don't want to see you buying a lot of stuff first. I mean, if you want to get Faber-Castells and push for that, that's fine. If you have a Hobby Lobby near you, go into the store and buy a couple of the loose Faber-Castells. Okay, Rhonda says not feeling well enough for detail cutting. Okay, got ya. Fair enough. Oh, how pretty is that blending? Zoom out. Hey, I need to ask you guys a favor. I'm checking something on my broadcast. I'm going to stand up and step away and go into the other room while I'm counting. I've done this before. And I need you to tell me if it gets quieter and quieter, or if it sounds the same. Ashley. All right. Hold on here. Let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm at my farthest point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did the clarity and volume stay the same? Okay. Wanda, my Hobby Lobby has only Faber-Castell Goldfarber. Okay. Rhonda says I bought the 12 package of polychromos in 3 single colors. No, the volume went down. Okay, thank you. Volume less but clear and can hear well. Okay. Thank you. So everybody see how I'm playing around with the red a little bit? On the flowers. For the most part, I'm staying close to the center, but I'm jutting out the red a little bit. Zoom in. And you can still hear the background music. Now, what's going to happen every once in a while, and it's happening to me right now, is because I use different brands of pencils. They obviously take different pressures. And since I've switched to my polychromos, I'm breaking my tips because I moved off of a different brand. Let me grab some water. So I'm smushing the red into the leaves, into the petals. Remember guys, no harsh lines, right? Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. And I want you to remember that close up, it's going to look a little wonky because you're seeing every teeny tiny detail of the pencil. But when you pull out to normal view, which is what? Head height when you're looking at something, right? It'll look really good. You don't look at it, you don't stick the paper to your nose and look. And remember that I'm using zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. I'm using different colors but similar values. What that means is I've got this darker red and I'm not using a super light orange for the tips and the rest of the petal, because if you do that, you have a huge jump between your red and your orange and it's going to look funny. Is everybody clear on that? I've talked about this when I'm picking 3 colors. The jump has to be incremental. Anybody have any question at all about that? If you don't know what that means, tell me. And Jean, thanks again for that book. I'm just sitting here thinking how blessed I am with this group and how we can do some really nice things. Too bad Maddie isn't here. Like I said, I think she'd enjoy this cutting out deal. All right. Zoom out. How pretty is that? Yeah, the Polychromos is the better line of the two. You're talking between Prismacolor, right? Polychromos are the gold standard in pencil. The quality is high. But again, it's personal preference. Some people just don't like. Okay, what are you talking about between the two then? Polychromos and what? Oh, gold farb and the polys. Thank you. Gotcha. All right. We've got some really pretty leaves in here. Again, we need to make some decisions about our look on the leaves. Yeah, Prisma has more vibrant and variety of colors. I think an ideal combination of pencil, honestly, is Prismacolor and Polychromos. Da, 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 da. Yeah, Wanda just, yep, just said what I thought. I really consider polys and Prismas to be even in quality. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to come in with a nice gold here. This is a bright orange yellow by Shuttle Art. Yeah, you were asking me about Shuttle Arts earlier. Oh, no, Castle Arts. Excuse me, sorry. Ashley says, I like Arteza, but I do not like the color selection. They don't have a good dark green and reds are more pinky. Okay, yeah, and that's another consideration. The one thing that frustrates me about all colored pencils is I have yet to come across a set that's got a bunch of reds. I mean, really good, solid reds. Wanda says she's trying out her new brush now. So now I'm using a color called Terra Brown by Brett Funner. I'm going to back blend over my gold. Now watch this. I'm going to back blend over my gold, but see where I left this area open? The white. And then I'm going to bring my brown up into that. And I want you to look at the color difference between the two. That's what blending does. Got a little line in there, crease. Now, keep in mind as you color, remember we've stuck paper to the back of this. Yeah, the polys need more colors. I agree with you, Wanda. So notice the difference in the brown between the pure brown and then the brown over the yellow. Now I'm going to use a pale green Fila 068. Zoom out. And I'm going to tip the green of the leaf. We've all seen this, that leaves have some green. On them. Now remember, don't get in too much of a pattern, right? So in other words, don't tip everything the same. And then I'm going to use a yellow ochre light, which is a Castle Arts color 10010. Notice I'm leaving an area open. And then I'm going to use my Shuttle Art color 049. On this part here. Zoom out. Zoom out. Can anybody tell me why I'm emphasizing browns and greens in the leaves? Zoom in. Why does that do that? Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to put a little bit of green on the veins. I'm going to go ahead and do that with one more leaf. Back to my Castle Arts 010. Anybody have any guesses why I'm using the browns and the greens? Browns, greens, and yellows on my leaves. Same brown over here. Rhonda says fall colors and complements the other colors. Yes. But there's another reason. Okay. Brett Futter Autumn Glory color Y10. So now I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of orange. Anyone else have any ideas why I'm using the browns and greens predominantly? So there's my orange, and I'm going to use my color Shuttle Art Bright Orange Yellow 049. Zoom out. Guys, what color are my flowers right above it? Right, I do. Well, I do have a pumpkin. What color are my flowers above my leaves? I gotta blend the screen. Okay, let's see what we can do here. My green, pale green, Fila 068. You guys are killing me tonight. What color are the flowers above the leaves? Okay, so there's my green again. Going back to my brown, Castle Arts 010. I'll go on the tip with that. Okay, the colors of the flowers are in orange and red, right? So what would happen if I used oranges and reds in the leaves? Let's go ahead with brown. And a little bit of, well, no. We'll go the shuttle art now, bright orange yellow. 049 with the brown. Close in color, but different. If I used red and oranges predominantly in the leaves, it would obliterate the difference between the flowers and my leaves, and they would run together. So what I'm choosing to do is when I do use orange, I use the orange on leaves that are furthest away from the flowers. So that way it ties in the flowers with the leaves, but it doesn't run it all together into one mush. So I'm okay with using the orange there. And then my light ochre 010, my brown on the bottom half. So do you guys see why that makes sense now? Okay. I am going to tidy up just a little bit. As soon as I find my Tombow, and there it is. Zoom in. All right. Let's go ahead and work on the stems of our flowers. Light green, Prismacolor 913. Stem. Just repairing that brown that I erased away. Back to my Prismacolor Spring Green 913, which I just meant for use on my flowers. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, that is right. That runs up to that one flower there. I thought it was running up to this one. And I missed a flower down here, but I'm going to let that little puppy sit for the moment. Okay, green stem up to the flowers, the light green, and then I'm going to use a pale green 068 Fila. Not coloring in all the way, just adding that as a little bit of extra shading. Oh, I hope you guys can see how pretty this is turning out. I also missed a leaf. Let me go ahead and put that in real quick. The Autumn Glory, Brett Funner, Y10. Rhonda, you still with us? I know you're not feeling well. So I've got the orange, and then I'm going to put my yellow on top of that. Blend it in. Pretty. So I need somebody to comment. I hope comments didn't get lost. I'm not seeing any at all. Which is fine, you guys. Oh, there we go. Rhonda, yes, coloring and listening to you helps. All right, that's fine. Facebook gets stupid once in a while. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose the ability to see. Thanks, Wanda. We hear. It's hard sorting colors. Yeah, it is. It is, actually. Okay. Prismacolor 913. Thank you for waving, Ashley. I know you guys love to color during broadcast, and that's fine. I just want to make sure that, like I said, that comments haven't disappeared, which they have in the past. So go back to your coloring and your sorting. Wanda got the Brett Funners like you did. Wanda, you wanted to know what Sandy was sorting? Now, you know I'm not just going to leave this one color. You know my style by now. Because you see how that gets lost in the whole picture? Zoom out. And now I'm going to take a Zenicolor 2 dark green, color 025. Zoom in. I'm going down both sides of the stem this time to give that some roundness, dimension. That is the one thing that's a little funny. I bounce between these different brands and they each have different pressure points. Oh, how pretty that green is. Oh, that's pretty. Again, on the stem towards the outside, gives you a little dimension. Zoom in. So what I'm doing with this darker green is I'm just shading on top of the leaf with a little extra shading towards the edges. And again, be sure to roll your pencil while you color. Turn it. Zoom out. Zoom out. No pun intended, but everybody see how this is coming to life? Oh, I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. And I hope that you're enjoying this, seeing this as much as I am doing it for you. Zoom in. Zoom in. So we've got a stem here that the artist didn't finish all the way into the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. We can see the stem right there. Right there. And I'm going to add a teeny tiny line right there. Okay, purples for our little hanging doohickeys. Prismacolor, lavender, 934. Zoom in. Now this is where we tint. Yes, there are a lot of greens and blues, Sandy, in that color set. And I can tell you for a fact that Vicki is circling. Zoom out. Now, as you know, when I color, sometimes I like to add a base color all the way down. Sometimes I'll do my, dark and medium without the base color. It just depends. There is no technical reason why this has to be done adding your color like this first. That's an artistic choice. Okay. Now, Sandy once asked me, do I blend between colors? And I said, not every time. But I am going to take my blender pencil this time and just really quickly smooth that out. It's a little more popcorny than what I would like. When I sort my colors, I like to do the order of them is the order of the rainbow. So I'll do red, pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, gray, and then flesh. See how pretty that looks now? Zoom out. Zoom out. Isn't that sled picture fun? Why don't you do it a nice soft, well, I haven't seen your picture. Look at the floor colors in this. We've got gold, brown, and speckles. I think that would look really pretty. Zoom out. So I have a question for you guys. Oops, I forgot to do that one part of the plant, my flower. When you think of fall and purple, the color purple, what do you think of? What comes to mind? Zoom in. Zoom in. What comes to mind for me with the colors fall and purple are grapes. And what I want you to think about when you're coloring is that your color choices have a subliminal effect on people. And so what you're doing is you're controlling how they're thinking about your picture. Oh, there we go. Ashley says my grandma's plum jam. Exactly, exactly. So when you're coloring, you are manipulating the viewer into your vision of what's going on. And that's why when you think that you've made a mistake in your coloring, I want you to listen to this. People will look at that and say, what mistake? Zoom out. And that's why I keep telling you that when you post, you don't say, here's my picture, but here's where I screwed it up. 9 times out of 10, people are going to look at your picture. You've taken them in the direction that you want to take them in the direction. And they like what you've done. . And Rhonda says she just posted her new WIP, work in progress. So if you were doing this picture that I'm doing and you did these colors and you, let's say you thought that blue didn't work for your fall picture, everybody would look at you like you're nuts, right? You've already told the observer that this is a fall picture because we've got our pumpkin here. Does what I'm saying make sense? Let's see if I like that color. I don't. When Rhonda posted her picture of her nights, oh man, what do I want to do here? What did I say? Did I use a different name? Wanda posted her work in progress. What did I say? Okay, drink of water. Hold on. So you have a lot more power than you think when you're coloring. Zoom in. And you can get away. Oh, I said Rhonda. Sorry. But I did talk to Rhonda too. So when Rhonda posted her pictures of her nights, she's already putting the people that are looking at it in the frame of mind of what's going on with that picture. And trust me, as a result, you're going to have a lot of leeway with your coloring. So quit giving yourselves away and saying, here's my picture, and I screwed up A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? Just knock it off, guys, will ya? Well, the reason that I called you Rhonda is because Rhonda and Wanda, of course, are very similar. Okay, everybody see now, I want you to look at this flower cluster on the left. And I'm adding this dark gray, which is 079 Shuttle Art. And the plum color, I hope I called it out. Yeah, Prismacolor 934. Zoom out. Okay guys, look at the difference now between this flower cluster and this one. You see it? Depth. And all I'm doing is going over the lines of the individual buds. Zoom in. All right, let's do the next set. and then I'm going to do the other two, and then I'm going to call it an evening. Now, when you're outlining with your darker shade like this, stick close to your edges. And can you see in this second one now how this looks dimensional at the top and flat at the bottom? Zoom out. That's what I want you to see. Look at the difference. So if you wonder why I color the way I do, this is why. And again, I'm staying at a distance for you to show you this look. Zoom in. Look at the difference, guys, between the top and the bottom. Okie dokie smoky. All right, now I'm going to turn this over because it's easier for me to do the shading that way. Zoom in. And if anybody has any question about the shading, I really want you to understand this. If you want good looking pieces, you've got to be able to do this stuff. I don't want to see any pieces that are done in a hurry. I mean, look how Wanda does her pieces. She thinks about it. She takes her time. She'll concentrate on a particular segment. Oh, Angela, you had to leave suddenly because Alan got a call from his daughter and she talked for ages. Okay. So Ashley says, how do you decide gray versus dark purple? Okay. Rookie mistake on coloring is that people think that they should shade in gray. And that's not the case. In order to have effective shading, you want to shade in a darker color of the one that you're using. So for example, if this area behind this cluster was red, if I was going to go ahead and shade this, I would shade the outside in a slightly darker red because the shadow makes it a darker red. And the reason I can get away with dark gray on this is because it looks like a purple. So the color that's most similar, Angela, is the one that I'm going to use. And the reason that I decided on the gray on this one is because it gives me better contrast in a small area. So small areas, I would be inclined to use the gray. Ashley, does that make sense? So to answer your question, while I've circled the barn 2 or 3 times here, is in the teeny tiny areas like this, I'll use a gray. But in this larger area here, I would use, if this were red, I would use a darker red. I hope that makes sense. Jeez. Isn't that pretty? Oh. This gray here is really picking up the attributes of the purple. That's why I can get away with it. I could have used a purple, but I wanted that little more oomph. Zoom out. So yes, most effective contrast for the area that you're working in. So Ashley is saying to Angela, maybe it's the room you're in. Bedroom is hard to watch the broadcast in because it does that, but the other rooms are fine. Yeah, Angela, you might just need an internet booster, a signal booster, a Wi-Fi booster. Okay, zoom in. Zoom in. There you go. I got one more blue flower to do. I'll probably go through and do all the similar flowers ahead of time. I'll do the pumpkins in front of you. Anybody have any questions or comments? And check out the depth on those little purple hangy thingies. Zoom out. Questions, comments, any confusion? Zoom out. Zoom out. So here's what we've got so far. Now, remember, we've got a little bit of pink here in this design. I've taken care of the blue and the lighter blue, actually, because it's already picked up there. So somewhere in this whole shebang, I've got to use a little bit of pink. Actually, I may do that on these little, I think these are peace lilies, but, you know, that's okay. Anybody need any clarification on anything? Okay, we're good. Love you guys. Had a great time showing you this. I get so excited about projects. I really do. We'll do some more pumpkins. Alright guys. Joyous, joyous coloring, guys. Love ya. Zoom in. Zoom in. This is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Good night, Dorothy. Hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. And we'll go ahead and continue this. Thank you, Stephanie. I will have a blessed night. I am really enjoying this project for you. Ooh, there's my hearts again. I love it. All right, guys, take care. Love on each other. Bye.